YouTube, what is going on? Happy Saturday. You see the graphic prepared, maybe to discuss a hockey game. We can do that, and we'll probably will do that. But what I also want to do is show you something brand new. Bang. Now that's the live chat for this very YouTube stream. That's all my comment so far. I apologize because I had to test this to make sure it would actually work. And it does work. That's the good thing. But the bad thing is I couldn't clear out all of my own comments. So as the beat drops, oh yeah, I also have this. Whoa, it always sprays. So I keep it away from the microphone. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are rocking with a triple IPA. Tres Diablos from Danville Brewing. See, now I'm realizing that some of the comments on the bottom are getting a little bit cut off right there. This is the first time for me, so I'll fix it after tonight. I'll see how this goes, but I've seen everybody else doing the live chat like this, and I wanted to try. Marty T, sup, Captain? I'm the captain? I am the captain now. Hello, Ryan. Hello, Puck Guy. Hello, Zach. Hello, Ronald. Zach's already throwing blame on the refs from today's hockey game. I'm not saying they were perfect. I don't think you could blame a result on that. Ryan saying tough loss today, but we didn't play that bad. Definitely an improvement. You know, it's weird. The Sharks played pretty well today. Dare I say they won the 5-on-5 battle against Las Vegas. I mean, I guess that's true. Hey! Puck Guy, Eric, drop it in the super chat. You don't have to do that, but I do appreciate it. All the super chats from this channel basically go to more equipment purchases. So, to be perfectly honest. The Sharks played a pretty solid game. One of their better games, actually. The problem is, the opponent was so good, and you have to be near perfect to beat Las Vegas, and they just weren't. And I think it's also a testament to Las Vegas how good they actually are. I'm not even sure they played close to their best hockey today. That is a dangerous team over there. Scott asking, missed some of the studio segments today. How was it being back at the rink in real time? So we weren't there. Randy Hahn and Brett Hedican called the game from there. Brownie and I were still in the studio, but just to see the tank. I said it on TV. You know, we've seen that building host All-Star games. We've seen it host thousands of Sharks games. We saw it host a Stanley Cup final. But to see it empty for the first and only time ever today, that was new. Watch the guys skate out of the Shark Head. Without all of you there, I'm not saying it was great. I'm just saying it was new. It'll be better when you're all back. Trust me. Loyal to Nowie, cheers. Hey, cheers to you too. Haha Funzy, I'm your idol. If I'm your idol, there's a lot better YouTube channels for you to be looking at right now than this one. For Rando's Tube, turnovers. Yeah. I would say turnovers / giveaways. That was a theme really in the SoCal games too. Logan Couture was talking about that the other day. Biggest frustration factor is giving away the puck too many times, especially in the offensive zone, then all of a sudden you're chasing it back going the other direction. The Embers, is this a safe place to vent about this season? Sure, why not? Hey, throw it in the chat. Look, I've been doing videos here, recapping games, and I guess we could do that. If you want me to throw this back up on the screen, we could just do that. Or if you want me to say hi on the GoPro camera, I mean, look at this production value right now. But what I really want to do, because I had been neglecting it, was the live chat. So I definitely want to make this more a part of the live stream. In fact, that's basically all I really want to do here for the next, 20, 30 minutes. Enjoy this triple IPA, which I'm going to keep saying, by the way, because it's important you know that it's a triple IPA, that your boy can handle that. My internet connection, is it solid tonight? How's the stream looking, everybody? Oh, yeah. Marty, that's right. The honesty camera. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to turn the modem off. Yeah, the honesty camera. If I really want to be honest about something, I turn to this camera. And then if I want to go back to being TV Brody, I go back to that camera. How about them fights today? We still did not get a 5-minute major for San Jose. So we're 13 games into the season. And I want to say they're the only team in the league without a 5-minute fighting major. And that's not a bad thing. Just their time hasn't happened. Quite honestly, have there been a lot of games that were overly chippy? And I'm not talking about one that got ugly late. There's been a few of those. I'm saying, has there been a game where like guys dropped the gloves 7 minutes into the first period? No, obviously not. Scott the beer is great, although I will say this. I don't know if it's the way I talk or the way I drink maybe too quickly. See what I'm doing right now? I have like a burping problem. When I do these live streams and I drink and talk, I do a little bit of drinking and a lot of talking, and there must be some air buildup that happens here, and all I want to do is burp. Now, I do have a button here, right? So I can mute myself. I didn't really burp just now. I made just a loud, obnoxious noise. So I can mute myself if it really comes to that, but I don't want you to hear me burping on here. Nobody needs that. Ryan, thank you. I appreciate it, man. I know you're talking about the stream, which I honestly, I had a feeling it was fine. I just wanted to drop that in. Yeah, should I go heavy on the soundboard tonight? Yeah? Okay. You can definitely do that. Hey, and then I was thinking later on I could connect with some of my friends. We could do like a live phone call. I could call Curtis Brown. Guys, that is not funny. That is not funny. It was Brownie's birthday yesterday. Ready for this? He turned... No, oh, shoot. He turned 54. It's actually 45. I'm so bad with those. Loyal to Nowie. I'm cheap. I got me the Bud Light. TH from the 203. What's going on, dude? Ryan saying hoping Shimek is okay. He's been one of the better players so far this season. I think Shimek is a piece of glue. He's a glue part of the team that holds a lot of things together. And I know he missed a couple games early on. We were worried about his knee. Quite honestly, I'm more worried about his head. And actually, I don't want to say I made the mistake of posting the wrong clip on social. On Twitter, I put a clip from the broadcast, but we actually had an alternate angle on postgame of the initial hit right after Shimek dumped Riley Smith and Marchessault came after him. He hit him into the glass on the inboards, and you could see Shimek went straight for the head. So I'm actually wondering if he was already kind of woozy when he got cross-checked with the stick. I mean, clearly that could, and in my opinion, it should have been a penalty. It's the definition of one. It's not to say that play doesn't happen 100 times, well, not 100 times, but 20 times a game. Maybe it doesn't get called on all of them, but I mean, it was so egregious, it was so obvious. So, I hope he's all right, obviously. But I'm just more frustrated because he seems to always be, and going back to the Sam Bennett hit New Year's Eve a couple years ago against Calgary, like he's always the subject of the retaliatory hit. So he threw one and he got retaliation taken against him. Ronald, you like the pre-games? I appreciate that, man. Really do appreciate that. Zach, you've been venting on Twitter. Hey, I suppose that's what it's there for. I honestly don't do a lot of that, as you guys know. But I try and sometimes I do vent. Sometimes I'm human and I have to vent. But I'd rather use Twitter for me and my purposes to try and just be more on the side of insight, and gut instincts and instant reactions, and instead of venting when I know that all I'm trying to do is stir something up or cause a commotion. Somebody asked about what brewery is the triple IPA from. This is from Danville Brewing in the 925. They have a lot of great beers, but the triple IPA, this has been sitting in the fridge for a bit. Decided tonight is the night. All right. Ryan saying, wasn't he holding his head? Yeah, we're talking about Shimek. He was on the first hit from Marchessault, and then the cross-check is when he went down pretty quick after that one. So maybe he was already ailing, and that was kind of the final straw. The Embers. In my honest opinion, is this team ready for a rebuild? Or rather, are you ready for a rebuild? Well, I'm not Dan Rather. I'm Brody Brazil. Wait. I got it. I think at some point you're going to have to look at it and say, this season, if it continues on this trajectory, that they are still either pieces away, or maybe some of the pieces they have right now are good but don't complement each other. So I'm willing to give it more time this year. I also think this being a shortened season, trade deadline in a weird spot, is it worth it to do something major during this season, either to try and salvage it or to think that you're going to spark something this year? This whole year is bizarre and weird in its own. So what I am saying is use this year as enough of an evaluation as best you can. But I don't know that you necessarily do huge changes in season. Especially the fact that it's now mid-February, and the regular season will be over in May. So you're talking about 2.5 months at this point anyway. ABV on this bad boy. Does it say on here? It does say. All right, I want you guys to guess. What's the ABV of this triple IPA? Tres Diablos. Which is weird. Oh, I get it. No, there's not. It's Mount Diablo, right? Which I've been up to a bunch of times. I was like, wait, there's not 3 mountains up there. Actually, on the top of Mount Diablo, I think there's 2 peaks. There's the Mount Diablo peak, and then there's like another part. There's one that's to the northeast, I think, that's behind it, a little bit lower, which has its own name, I want to say. I could look all this stuff up, but I don't want to screw up the live stream. Maybe somebody could let me know on that. But Tres Diablos, yeah, it's a triple IPA after Mount Diablo. All right, 11%, 10.5. Forgetting where you got, nobody's got it. 12%, nobody's got it dead on. I'll let this go for just a little bit longer. Am I getting in on some of the Pliny the Younger? I've had it before, and I don't know that I'll be putting myself in a situation to receive any of it this year, but I have had it. Alaska Airlines 17. The Knights played quite dirty today. I will say this. Kane took the first penalty. Let's go back on my notes here so I get this right. Yeah, Kane took the holding penalty, 11.5 into the first period. Marchessault bats that one out of the air, so they score on their first power play almost at the very end of it. Then Kane comes out of the box, and then at 14 minutes, so this is 45 seconds after the goal, Reeves and Kane both go at it. And Reeves basically sucks Kane in. Now, I have to say this. If the trade-off is going to be that Ryan Reeves and Evander Kane leave the ice at the very same time, that's never going to be a good trade-off for the San Jose Sharks. And I understand, well, first off, Ryan Reeves understands that. And Evander Kane, he deep down knows that. But I feel like he's got the statement that needs to be made, or something that needs to be established, or he feels like it's going to boost something to his team. I'll tell you what, when Reeves and Kane go at it and they want to mouth off, and that's all fine. But what I really just don't want to see, because it doesn't help the Sharks, it's not a fair trade-off when they both are in the box at the same time. A top 6 forward versus a role player. That's just, you don't want those two guys coming off at the same time. Let me see. 11. Okay, so guessing on some percentages here, 8.7, 11.5, 5. Zach, 5.5? This is not a Canadian triple IPA. This is a California IPA, triple IPA. It's 10.2. Yeah. Zach, can you tell me why this team will not stay out of the penalty box? Well, I don't know that discipline season long has been an issue for them. They haven't been perfect. And today, their penalty kill was, I think, 12th or 13th in the league going into today. And then 0 for its first 3. I think they were on the kill 5 total times today. uncharacteristic, but Las Vegas is that good. That's what they're going to do. Billy asking, what do I think about the Kevin Kurz article tonight? I did not see the Kevin Kurz article tonight. I haven't been on social, quite honestly, since I got home, bits and pieces, looking at stuff. So if something came out, I'm not aware of it. If you want to tell me what it is, then I could react. And I do read. I read a lot of stuff. I read Kersey's stuff. I haven't read this one if it just came out. When is EK65 going to play like an $11 million a year player? Here's what I want to say. And by the way, hello, Brian. Good evening to you too. Here's what I want to say about Erik Karlsson, because I know right now he's a huge lightning rod for this group. And that comes with the territory of being a leader, of being a highest paid player on your team. I mean, it's no different than if we were talking about an office situation. Your top earning salesperson better be selling the most and better be leading by example. And if he or she is not, at least they had better be doing all the other intangibles. And I think the frustration with Karlsson right now. Oh, should I go to the honesty camera? Hang on, let me see if I can leave the chat and go to the honesty camera. Oh, on the fly. Got a lot of buttons here, and I do not want to spill that beer on any of this personal equipment. Here's the deal. If, there's two things you want from Karlsson. You want him to be a sound defenseman, defensively, and you want him to be an offensive influence as a defenseman. And so he's got 4 points through his first 13 games, all assists. And if the offensive side is not going to happen, then the fallback is you say, well, he's having a great defensive season. At least there's that. But I think we can all agree on a lot of nights, there's not at least that right now. So I think, and I hate to always make baseball analogies, but I think this kind of has to be like baseball right now. I'm willing to let a good player ride through an offensive slump. Like, it happens. Especially at the start of a year, a weird one, coming off a couple injuries, all that. But at the very least, fielding your position, if you're the third baseman, shortstop, whatever, you can't be making a ton of errors. So, how much, I'm noticing a little beer got spilled there. I'm also thinking about, where we're at in this season. What's the point where you start to say, well, this is actually who a player is playing like? I'm a little bit concerned with, should I go back to broadcaster camera? Excuse me. I'm also a little bit concerned about the injury that popped up. Lower body of some sort today that he didn't play the last 11 minutes. I kind of noticed that a few shifts there. I'm like, I haven't seen him out there. And then it was, confirmed afterwards that he was definitely on purpose not out there. So I saw Ross McEwen in here. Let me see if how can I scroll this thing back? How can I scroll it back? There's Ross. Ross, buddy, what's going on? I did not expect you to be here, but I appreciate that. Would you believe there's 4 peaks? Mount Olympia, North Peak, Mount Diablo Summit, and Eagle Peak. And thank you, Ross. I appreciate it. The home studio it's been a work in progress. Ross, cheers to you. You are a good dude. Check out Ross, by the way. If you don't follow him on Twitter and check out the stuff. I mean, you're talking about somebody with the depth of covering this team since its beginnings, which is important. Some of us have only been around a fraction of the time. Ross has been around the entire time. So the takes are that genuine. The takes are that, how should I say, experienced, versed. So there are 4 peaks on Mount Diablo, not tres, cuatros diablos, if I could borrow on my AP Spanish from 20-something years ago. Ross, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Good to see you in here. Let me see how I can scroll back to this now. Okay. I just want to get back to real time here. I'd be sweating if I was drinking near that equipment. Yeah, there's definitely 4 figures plus worth of equipment just on the desk here alone. So I'm if you notice, I'm carefully picking this up and putting it down. I'm trying not to spit on the mic more than normal. Yeah, I want to drink. I'm probably about halfway through here. So you're about to see the real loose Brazil in the second half of the IIIPA. Jack here with a great observation. I think he was talking about the standings. That's another thing about the Sharks. This division, it doesn't have that real long separation yet. And of course, there are going to be, I think, there's going to be those top three teams, Las Vegas, St. Louis, and the Avs, which everybody predicts. And I think after seeing all those teams one time around, they are definitely a step above everybody else. But gunning for that fourth spot right now, if the Sharks put together 3 wins, they're right there. As rough as things have gone, what are they, 5-7-1? As rough as things have gone, in a lot of ways, they'd be right there. So that's going to be one of the X factors of this season. And if an Arizona or a Minnesota or a San Jose or an Anaheim or a Los Angeles, if they don't jump into one of these spots, if nobody really jumps into that and claims it, this season is going to be, you're going to have the double-edged sword thinking that, all right, maybe the Sharks still haven't reached that potential yet. They haven't hit that gear. But on the other side of it, that playoff spot's still sitting there calling for anybody, So, Ryan going with an A's question. Do I think the A's could make the playoffs, even losing players like Grossman and Hendricks? Ryan, did you purposely leave out Marcus Semion's name to make me feel better about that? Did you? I was trying to think of a sound effect to play there. You know what? Let me just answer the A's question real quick. As much as they've lost, which is significant, your closer, one of your Gold Glove outfielders, your MVP shortstop, essentially a captain of your team, the unofficial captain of your team in Marcus. I still think, crazy enough, they can wiggle their way into a playoff spot, into some interesting baseball. But don't get me wrong. They're not as good of a team right now as they were at the end of last year or all last year. So I'm interested to see Elvis Andrus. But like I said, there are some things that definitely need to get settled with this team and figuring it out of who. There are some holes. There are some open spots, open roles to be had. Roman asking, are you a real A's fan and Sharks fan, or is it just for the broadcasting? Does somebody want to help Roman out here? And I'm not trying to be mean, Roman, but because I do appreciate the question. There are, you know what? You bring up a valid point. There are a lot of people in my industry who are assigned to cover a team or multiple teams, and they play to that, and they do their best, and they're new to it, and they figure it out as they go, and maybe they're kind of attached at some point, or they realize, hey, you know what? These aren't my guys. I just work with them. The opposite of all that is me. Literally grew up at the Coliseum, literally went to the Tank at in its first year of existence, 93. First game was a Sharks and Chicago game. I want to say December. Was it December of 93? So there you go. Yeah. It's been documented. I've talked about it a lot. And honestly, Roman, I'm not trying to be mean because I'm so passionate about that. These are two franchises, Sharks, A's, and realistically the Warriors. 3 things I grew up on. So yeah, the great part about it, I've got the built-in history because I was watching well before I was working, and the passion never has to be fabricated. It's as real as can be. I feel a lot of the things you guys feel. I observe it differently because I think I've worked in it for so long. I can get over a loss a lot quicker. I get over the end of a season a lot quicker. But I got to say, some of the stuff you guys think and talk about, my brain is quite there often too. Loyal to Nowie, what was on your mind when you were scaling down that huge building? Yeah, there's a recent clip here on my YouTube channel of me rappelling 36 stories. It was from more than 10 years ago now. I rappelled down the side of the Grand Hyatt in San Francisco, and I do not like heights. So check out that video when you get a chance. If you want to see me at The most scared I've ever been in my life. Yeah, you can watch that video. Brian saying the Knights, Avs, Blues are for sure going to make the playoffs. But yeah, really fun to see who that fourth team's going to be. And there are some good teams in this division. I hope the Sharks are well into that conversation. I say we wait one more beer before we ask Brody to riff on Vegas's gold helmets. Oh, I tell you this. And by the way, is it Jolie? Jolette? I know you comment here a lot. Can I just call you Tacos? Because I get that part. Here's what I got to say about those gold buckets from 2 nights ago. My goodness. I mean, those weren't, like Notre Dame football, they paint their helmets gold, but at least that's like a classy gold. That's like there's some texture to it. And it's also like a matte finish. The ones that Las Vegas put on their helmets the other night, it looked like C3PO. And it also looked like, when you get like a cheap toy, like a kid's train or something, you're like, oh, it's supposed to be gold, and like the gold chips off really easily. And under it's like really ugly plastic. That's what their helmets look like the other night. And I have to say, I got to go to the honesty camera. I'm sorry. I'm going there. I understand the rivalry, Sharks in Las Vegas, and what has occurred in the last several years. In terms of their setup in Las Vegas, it's pretty sweet, I got to say. And you know what? Their logo and their colors, I'm not talking about their fans, their logos and their colors, like somebody has done a pretty good job down there. Not going to hate, going to be honest. Somebody's done a pretty good job in a lot of ways for that franchise and that organization. They have established a lot of, and good for them. You know what? Hockey needs more West Coast franchises, and I hope the game grows in Las Vegas. Now there's the Silver Knights and more ice surfaces in Southern Nevada. So I'm not going against that. I hope someday that college hockey takes off on the West Coast. I hope the Pac-12 has 4 or 5 teams in their own conference and they're taken for real, But so I'm pumping them up in a lot of ways. That's the part I want to say here. It is not just knocking them down. The helmets. I mean, I'm all for flashy, but those were trashy. All right. So that's pretty much all I have to say about that. Zach wondering, who do I think is going to win each division in Major League Baseball? You know what? We got to go away still. Teams aren't set. Rosters aren't set. I just can't believe that spring training is starting this week, this upcoming week. Pitchers and catchers, I think, report on the 17th. Why are they doing this? Why not wait another month? Life would be so much easier for Major League Baseball. And I'm not saying shorten the season. Not that at all. Play 162. Just start later. End later. It's fine. You can figure all that other late part of it out. Delaying yourself through the pandemic is only going to help. Honestly. I don't understand the rush to do this on time. And it's crazy because the Major League Baseball and the Players Association, look what hockey is going through right now. Like, on any given night, there's 3 or 4 games that just don't get played. And at least in baseball, at least they have the flexibility of a doubleheader. You cannot do that, in the NHL. And then they're at some point, the later this season goes, if the outbreaks continue, they're not going to have as much flexibility. So again, baseball, the last season they played was 60 games in a health situation that wasn't terrible throughout the summer. I just don't know why they're jumping in here and now. I know, and I really do hope, and I feel like things are going to get better in the next several months. And that's the whole point. Play to when it gets just a little bit better. Give yourself an edge. It's like if it's pouring rain and the rainstorm's going to last 20, 30 minutes and you have somewhere to go, and you know what, if you're 15 minutes late, no big deal. Just wait it out a little bit. Do I think the A's will win the division? Houston is a lesser team. Although maybe this is the Angels' year, although maybe the Rangers might finally have their season, although maybe the Mariners might finally wake up, I would say instantly, here and now, really, really early, like broad feeling, gut take, they'll contend for the division. So there you go. Ooh, Brian going at the bold prediction. A's will win the division. Angels coming in second. Astros in third. Alaska Airlines saying, to be honest, I would love December baseball. No, my thing is if you delay it a month, you have the World Series and then you have Thanksgiving right after that. Who wouldn't love talking about the World Series at this year's Thanksgiving dinner? Just saying. Ronald's ready to get back to the tank and the Coliseum and missing the treehouse. Ronald, cheers to you, buddy. Colin just wants to see Shohei Ohtani pitch and hit bombs. Well, he's been hitting bombs. He hasn't been pitching much with the arm issue. Wait a second. Look at how this chat. I mean, wait a second. Weren't we here to discuss this? And then it turned into Oakland A's talk, which is fine. I'm just saying. You guys can take it wherever you want. Joel said, okay, so you're Joel Tacos. Been playing hockey and figure skating in the Bay Area since before we even had the Sharks. Hey, you know what? I got to be honest. Sharks are what got me interested. So that worked. Coming to California, coming to the San Jose market, it hooked me in the early 90s. So I'm glad that other people existed before that and had a little bit more of a foundation and more opportunities, more places to skate. But that's awesome. Austin, do you think Rafi Torres is available to face Vegas next time and give Marchessault a serious beating? Here's the bad news. For doing that interview with me the other day, Rafi Torres has been suspended 5 games. And I'm laughing because of how ridiculous that the suspensions were. And he knows there were some mistakes made. We talked about all that stuff. You should check out the interview. And by the way, there's more clips coming of that soon. So make sure you subscribe here to the channel. Do I have a button for that? I'm pretty sure I do. Yep. Oh yeah. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you can catch all the future videos and Rafi Torres and more Drew Remenda, stuff like that. But that's all coming on the way. Roman asking what's up with the A's new ballpark. Also have a couple more videos on that coming out pretty soon. I've been a busy dude over here at the home studio cranking some stuff out. So make sure like I said, make sure you subscribe. Alex, thoughts on the Chapman trade rumors? The Mets talked to the A's about Matt Chapman. You know what's funny? I've talked to the A's about Matt Chapman. Yeah, I put it on Twitter, and some people had hilarious reactions. I was like, me or the Mets talking to the A's about Matt Chapman is me talking to Elon Musk about that complimentary Model S in my driveway. It just like talking about something, and it actually happening are way two different things. And the other part about this, how do I say this? How do I say this properly and kindly and appropriately? I have the ability to reach out to people instantly. Phone numbers, like the phone numbers that are, and I'm just saying, look, there's 2 texts already. The phone numbers I could reach out to and get information from and really dig if I wanted to. And it's from years of being around. It's from years of developing relationships. But there are a lot of things that just don't come out because you're either asked not to share it, like you can know about it, but you don't share it, or it just doesn't come out because the inner circle doesn't even include you. And my point being here, whoever leaked that out, whoever came up with that, what team is going to say, hey, here, let me do honesty voice here. Hey, we talked to the Oakland A's about Matt Chapman. Okay, so just don't really tell anybody about that. We're only going to tell you, and then we, if you want to float that out there, who's going to, sorry, chat box, who's going to talk to the A's about Matt Chapman and then go tell somebody in the media? If you're really working on it, You wouldn't drop that. Like, you're only going to complicate the matter and potentially ruin it. So that's my point. Consider the source, and I'm not saying the source is always wrong. I'm just saying that when stuff like that comes out, occasionally it's misinterpretation or it's somebody who is fabricating, exaggerating for more retweets and attention, and that's part of the game of Twitter. Gonna be honest with you. Look, what if I tweeted right now if I just made something up? Oh, what's that? Sharks trade Martin Jones, Evander Kane, and Brent Burns to New York Rangers. Yeah, it'll blow up. It'll blow up on Twitter because people will see my name behind it. And those of you who know me, first off, would hopefully know that if I did it, it was pretty real. But other people who don't know me would say, the guy works for NBC. He's got the little blue check mark. It's got to be real. Yeah, that would blow up. And then it would blow up in my face. You know, and some people don't care. They don't care about being right or being honest. They just care about, well, did I get the, because it'll all disappear in 3 days anyway. Nobody will remember that, I was the idiot who was completely wrong. Will we be at the Treehouse this year for the pregame show? In baseball, I'm going to be honest, I doubt it. We might be at the stadium for baseball shows or hockey shows at some point when baseball and hockey and basketball overlap as expected here in the months of April and a little bit of May. Yeah, we may be doing some shows remotely, but I doubt we'll be near other people. It's going to have to be a very controlled environment. Even if and when things are a lot better, I think we have to play it safe. So, Ryan, you got to go. I appreciate it, bud. Thanks for checking out the live stream. Ronald, you need to build a studio like this one to do your live streams and pregame videos. Just don't compete, Ronald, with me, okay? I'll help you build it. Just, can you wait? Can we coordinate? Can you not do them at the same time? Fighting for the same audience here. Ethan, who's my favorite Sharks player? Well, look, as the domain owner of LoganCoutureFanClub.com, I actually, because you already know that part, I actually want to say that Mario Ferraro, very much on the high list for me, high part of the list. Good dude, gets it, great attitude, tremendous skill. Like he's on the top pair, he's on the top D pair for your team right now. So Mario Ferraro for me is up and coming. And hey, what happens in, I don't know, 3 or 4 more years? He and Ryan Merkley are your top D pair in San Jose. Arturo, I'm sorry, buddy. You might have missed the beginning part of the video. This is a triple IPA, and I'd say there's about a third or between 25 and 33% left of this 10.2% beer. Triple IPA, if I could mention that again. Yep. Here's me talking about beer. My son is older than that, but every time I hear that, I feel like I'm 2 years ago and dad of an infant all over again. Or that happens sometimes too. Like if there's a delivery out front, Melvin, stop it. Have I had any Ghost Town brewing from Oakland? I have not, but that sounds good. Jordan Seymour, spring training is around the corner. What team am I most excited about? Well, Jordan, your Oakland A's. Look, that's, obvious. But I will say this. Let me tell you about my National League team. I'm really into the San Diego Padres. And especially the more the Dodgers build up and add Trevor Bauer and bring Turner back, the more I just hope the young, hungry Padres can own the NL West. Ooh, that's definitely. So I've got to be honest, Oakland A's all the way. But in the last year or two, the Padres have emerged for me as another team I'm interested in. Clearly, they don't hold a candle to the Oakland A's. If those two teams meet up when they do interleague, no question who I'm pulling for. But let's see what else can we comment here on. Who could the Sharks trade if things go badly? Like I said, this season's short. A lot of your players are tied up in a lot of ways. I think the better time to make transactions would be in the offseason. I'm not saying like, well, don't do it. I'm saying if you're going to do it, it may work out better for all individuals and the team to do it over the summer. Look at the flow. Sorry. Got to readjust the headset here. Got to go to Bevmo and pick up some Uniboro? Uniobro. I can't even pronounce that. All right, Ronald, appreciate it, man. You got to go finish your notes for this afternoon's game and start your notes for Monday. Look at you prepping up. I don't do notes. I just keep the game notes as they happen here, and that's about it. So you want to here's something. We can talk about the Sharks season. Win, loss, loss. Win, loss. Win, loss, loss. Win, overtime loss. Win, loss, loss. So right now they're at their season high losing streak of 2 in a row, and they've never lost 3, but they've lost 2 in a row twice. So I hope, especially their next game being against Anaheim, I hope they can start turning things around, or at least they can start gaining a little bit of steam. I know they're going to go back on the road after this, but come March, home heavy, to say the least. Good question for an unbiased Brody. Is Lincecum a Hall of Famer? Some would say that he did his thing at the Hall of Fame level, but didn't do it long enough. Longevity might be but then again, multiple World Series, to me, probably very much in that conversation. I'm not going to say shoe in for Tim Lincecum. I'm not going to say slam dunk guaranteed. I wouldn't be surprised if he were in. I wouldn't be surprised if he got close and didn't get there. But what's holding him back, and it's also weird too for a starting pitcher versus position player who just pitching every couple days versus playing every day. It's just that longevity part. How often you saw that person. Do I see the A's extending Matt Chapman? Well, he's good for this year. But I hope so. I hope there's a lot of developments for that team in 2021 and 2022. Stadium, a couple key players. I hope everything starts to fall together. I'll be honest, it hasn't happened yet. That tipping point of keeping your talent. I know the stadium is still taking more steps forward. That's great. I know the environmental impact report is going to be huge. But my point in all this is I just hope they can solidify the stuff that they want to do and the stuff that they're talking about. I hope that, and that's good. You're aiming towards it, you're moving towards it, but at some point I want them to get close and do it. I guess that's so that I know it's done, right? It's like, hey, can you take out the trash? Yeah, I'll take out the trash. Can you take out the trash? I'll take out the trash. I promise you, I'll take out the trash. It's getting later. I promise you, I'll take out the trash. Just as soon as you take out the trash, I'll be so happy and I'll know it's done. I'll know. What a weird analogy, but you know what I'm saying? You'll know it's done when it's done. Have I ever thought, Zach, of doing stand-up comedy? Oh, all the time. All the time. I get up there and tell a joke and, oh, wait. Oh, that's I thought it was laughs. Gosh darn it. So no, I haven't. But I've thought of being a DJ. Thought of being a bus driver. Thought of being a cable car driver. Oh, you know what I forgot to play for the Las Vegas Golden Knights? You hear that? Slot machines are paying out. Who do I think is the best team in the NHL right now? Excuse me. Whoa. Unfair for me to say, because I'm got a lot going on in life where I'll watch a lot of the teams in the West, but that's it. So let me just say this. Of all the teams now that we've seen in the West, Las Vegas and the Avs are at the top for sure. And what's the other team? What was that? The third team? St. Louis. I was just kidding. What's that? You want?
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
I didn't mean to do that one. Fat fingered it. You guys want to talk some more hockey? Why do I think Major League Baseball, ESPN, and MLB on Fox Sports always put the Angels ahead of Oakland? Did you really need the answer to that? I mean, Mike Trout. That's not a right answer, but Mike Trout, Los Angeles, they keep spending, Bigger they are, the harder they fall. What's my thoughts on MLB simulating the A's? Wait a second. Simulating the A's being under 500? Try that again. Under 500? MLB. Under 500? You know what? I will say this too. I've watched the NHL do this. I've watched MLB do this. It is probably a social media thing, right? They probably did a tweet about it with a fancy graphic. Hey, how is your team going to do this year? Here's our projections. Who's the top duo in baseball? Where do you come up with this stuff? Are you bored? And that's fine if you are. And it's also fine if you want to do this stuff. But I'm not putting much weight or stock into that. Stuff like that's ridiculous. I mean, the A's had the equivalent of 97 wins for a third straight season. And they hit 220 as a team this year. Their bats weren't even close. Excuse me, to the performance that they could have got. And their rotation had some issues. It was not a perfect Oakland A's season by any means, and they still had the equivalent of 97 wins. So you're telling me they're going to go from 97 to below 500 wins on wins? Don't know. Ronald saying, don't cut the hair. I'll be honest, I'd like to. At a very near juncture, I'd like to, because it's hard to sleep at night. It now gets on the pillow and gets in my face. How long do you think Jones has left on the Sharks? Ooh. Hang on, let me play with my hair for a second, and then I will get to that Jones question. I just want to show you here. Pretty ridiculous. It's been more than a year. Okay, it can get to the mouth almost. Where'd it go? Yep. This should be the thumbnail of this live stream. Come on. How many people in television do you know are live streaming from their house tonight, putting their quarantine hair in their mouth? Not many. Probably for good reason. Okay. Martin Jones. I feel like it's a study. It's an interesting study that a guy could perform so well in shootouts, that a guy could perform so well in the penalty kill, that a guy could perform so well 3-on-3. Those are the areas that goalies are supposed to be susceptible to struggling. And that's where he's best. Where he's had, statistically the hardest time is 5-on-5. And so that it doesn't add up. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but it also tells you that he's capable of it, right? He's capable of answering the bell. And I think what you witness in Jones is a lot of times a goalie that doesn't get the help he needs in front of him. And then that magnifies when he has his own struggles. But I would also say that at this point, in the same way that a coach, like Pete DeBoer, for example, Sharks made a change at their coaching position, not because Pete DeBoer was a bad coach, but because the chemistry, the flow of it, the back and forth, the message, whatever it was, it just wasn't working. And a coach is easier to change than the entire roster of players. And at some point, if your team defense is struggling that mightily, maybe you make a change at the goalie spot just to try and switch things up. And look, bringing in Dubnyk was part of this because Dubnyk was expected to challenge and still is expected to challenge Jones for playing time. I want to see Martin Jones do well. I know he's capable of it. I felt like at the beginning of this year especially, we saw an energized Martin Jones, and there was hope and promise that some steps were taken. I go back to team defense more than I go back to goaltending. And it's not to take goaltending out of the equation. It's not to say that goalies can't be held responsible, but it is to say that your goals against and your save percentage are a product of how the team in front of you plays. And in a lot of cases, you're like, that guy on the other team had 3 whacks at it right out front. Nobody cleared him out of the way, or there's a 1-on-none, or there's a 2-on-none, or a 3-on-1. You're like, how do you guys put him in this position, then expect him to bail you out every single time? Now, should he bail you out once in a while? Absolutely. Should he have games where he stands on his head and no matter how bad the Sharks are, he gets you the win? I mean, those should happen once in a while, and those don't even seem to happen anymore. So I think Jones would tell you, if you asked him about, say, just sum up your last couple of years, he'd probably be frustrated. But I'm frustrated for him in the sense that I don't think the help has been there either. Like, imagine, I'll give you this. I'm hosting a TV show with Curtis, like we're doing pregame live. Now, we have an extremely talented crew, right? Our producer's been with me and us now for years. Love the guy. He's a pillar of the program. You don't see him, but he's a pillar of the program. But imagine if the producer was struggling and the director of our show was struggling and the audio person was struggling. And then me and Curtis are here like, okay, let's listen to Bob Bugner's interview. And it doesn't play. Okay, well, forget about that. Let's look at that third period goal. And it's the wrong clip. Like, this is what I'm saying, where your teammates can make you look really good or your teammates can make you look really bad. And then sometimes your teammates can make a mistake and you can bail them out. And that's fine too. And it goes both ways. But a lot of times you're not getting any of those things from Sharks goaltending. So went way longer on that than I needed to. All the bets. Good night, Eric. Thanks for checking out the live stream, man. Yep, Colin, you're right, man. Colin Kasaka. Jonesy gets a bad rep because the team defense doesn't help him. I just want to say this. For anybody that says the goaltending's not great, all I want you to say is that the team defense, along with it, has also not been great. And when I say team defense, I'm not just talking about defensemen, I'm talking about all 5 skaters on the ice, forwards too. Sometimes forwards especially. Oh, all the best. Eric, I see what you said there. Colin, I want to see more physicality from the Sharks. Need to play Nason more. I don't know whether to read into the fact that they haven't had a 5-minute fighting major yet is a good thing or a bad thing, or they're not, I would agree though. How many games this year have you said, man, the Sharks are finishing checks, look at their forecheck, and it's not knocking guys off the puck. It's not their game right now. And if they were winning consistently, I say fine, I don't care. They don't need to play that game. But not getting the results and also not being just a little bit physical kind of makes you want more of it. Zach said, I saw a beer and joined. What question? Hey. All right. You saw a beer. That's why you joined in. So, Zach, I appreciate that. This is a triple IPA from Danville Brewing. Triple IPA. I should do the I have a little voice changing thing I can do on here. I haven't done it yet, but I could do all sorts of cool voices. Some other time. But yeah, triple IPA. Just going to play some more sound effects. Yeah, I'm probably about 15% of it left. Which is good because I think I'm at, 55 minutes I've been rambling to nobody. Well, not nobody, I'm not talking like physically to another person. I'm looking at this chat for 55 minutes. We came on talking about a 3-1 loss when I said, you know what, chat box, come back. Also, for those of you just tuning in, this is the honesty camera. When we need to be honest, we go to this camera for whatever reason. Oh, and you know what else I realized? I can go to the honesty camera and leave, where is it? The chat box over there. Sorry. I'm all over the place right now. Everyone talks about how bad the team defense is. What do you think the Sharks need to do to improve it, Nick? That's a great question. Sorry, and I also forgot, Zach, to give you some beer recommendations. I'll do that next. I'm not qualified to strategize at the NHL level about team defense. But I can, after watching literally every game for the last 13 plus years, I can tell you the two things that get them the most are net front chances for opponents. And I don't just mean one chance. I mean like a second and third chance on a rebound, or, a player who is getting a tip that's, should have been marked a little bit more, cleared out of the area. So net front chances, net play, I would say, is one of them. And the other one is odd man rushes. Now, they've actually done a little bit better. Last year, it seemed like every game there were 2 or 3 odd man chances for opponents. I do have to say, that is one thing they've cut down on this year. This year, it does seem to be more the net front stuff that they just cannot clean up. So I'm not here to say how to do that, but I can easily tell you, and I do think that Sharks turnovers, are a part of team defense because they give up the puck and then they put you in a vulnerable defensive position. So I'll offer you that. I will say that I'm not qualified for much more than that. Okay, the beer. Yeah, triple IPA it's called Tres Diablos from Danville Brewing. I do like it. They have a double IPA called Chuck's at Danville Brewing. Absolute staple. Oh, I could taste it right now when I talk about it. Get that. Try anything there. They have a lot of good selections, but I also want to recommend Fieldwork. Fieldwork Brewing, locations all over the place. One on the peninsula. Berkeley is the flagship. One in San Ramon out here in the East Bay. One in Napa. Fieldwork, and the greatest thing is when I go order, I usually order a couple weeks worth, but I do it at once, but the great thing about it is it's always changing. So I go on the website and I see, what do you got this time? So as much as I do sometimes hey, I know I like this, I like that, order, done. I also like to say, I don't recognize any of this. And then I go through it, and I pick out different stuff. IPAs are a go-to here in the Brazil house, but I'll try anything, honestly. I'll literally, why not? Doesn't mean I'll buy a 6-pack of it, but I'll try one of anything new. Oh, really serious question. Was 2001 Brody listening to NSYNC or Blink 182? Blink 182, but really neither of those. 2001, let me think. I was 20. I was in college. What was I listening to in 2000? Probably Ja Rule. Is murder. That was bad. Was that really bad? How bad was that, Brody? Was that really bad? Is murder. Let's flush that away. How was it, by the way? How was it for you guys? And I know there was only one goal today, but how was it to hear this? Oh! Well, wait a second. This is the old goal song, so I don't want to get demonetized here. But just did like the, oh. By the way, do you know where the goal horn is at SAP Center? You know it's in the roof. You know it's on the north side of the building, east side of the building, whatever it is. Anyway, it's on one end of the rink. I'll say that. I've taken some pictures. You know what? I got to go back and they might be from my old phone, but I was up there and I took a bunch of pictures of it one day. And years ago, we did a whole tour. I got to hit the button. It's like a big brass button. It's like from a ship horn. It really is from a ship horn. You really got a whale on it. And we were messing around with the horn. When I got to hit it, the rink was completely empty. And it's weird because it takes a second of delay, like before it actually, like you boom, and then wait, 1001, then, and then, and you, during that second, you can hear it like sucking in air. It's really bizarre, like stuff you'd never know in the moment because everybody's going wild. But it's like, oh, it's just the best. It's got to be deafening if you're close to it. Yeah, a lot louder. Like, you know what? It's not like, because of the tone of it, it's not like ear piercing loud. But what it is like you feel it. Like you're like it vibrates your insides. Where's your go-to brewery? Where's your go-to brewery to hit up on a Sharks road trip? Favorite city? I can't say that I've been to breweries on any Sharks road trips. Usually because, quite honestly, like when I have a work road trip, here's the way I operate. Like when you are working, like go hard, work hard. You're on location. I don't hardly do any of these anymore. Certainly not in the last year. But I want to work so hard because I want to make the most of the time on the road. I want to be present. I want to be all around it. I want, make sure that, people know you're there and that you're putting your work in. But once that work is done, go explore. Go look at the city. Go to a place and drink and eat and do stuff you don't normally do and sightsee and but also be responsible. Like get to bed at a reasonable time. But like early mornings, late nights, do it all while you're on the road. Just do it, right? I was only young once. I'm not anymore. In, about 6 weeks, I'll be 40. Oof. Wait a second. 40. Are any of you guys 40? Am I talking to any 40-year-olds right now? I bet I'm not. No, I bet I am, actually. Look, give me a little age roll call. You know what? Give me a little age and location roll call, if you wouldn't mind. Can we do that? And then what I'll do is, here, let me see here. Is this on? What I'll do is I'll put you on the map here. Oh, look at my Geochron. I just pulled up the Geochron. This is a little device I have plugged into the home studio system here, and I can't really point to it necessarily because I don't have like a mouse on here. But this shows you it's a world clock. It's a live view of a world clock, and this is where the sun is right now. So it's over Africa, most of Asia, Australia. You can see where San Francisco is. Ooh, Honolulu looks like it's about to get rocked with a storm. Anyway. This can do a lot. I've got a whole video on this somewhere else, but honesty camera. Actually, wait a second. Nope. Chat box, and then honesty camera. So, I've got a whole video on the Geochron. You should check it out. It can display satellite locations. It can show you where the International Space Station is. That was on there a second ago. Can I do that now? Oh yeah, there you go. So you see in fact, the International Space Station right now is right over Tokyo. See that? And you can see where it's going to the dots. 5 miles a second, the International Space Station. Woof, 263 miles above the Earth. That's pretty crazy. Okay, here we go. Zach is 21 and in Moscow, Idaho? Wow, that's crazy. I've heard of Moscow, Idaho. It's got to be cold out there tonight. 28. Oh, 28. Joseph, happy birthday on Wednesday, buddy. In Corvallis. David, you're watching from, now I'm not saying Melbourne. Nope. Melbourne, right? See? I'm getting it. Like, I'm not an Australian. I've never been there. I would love to come visit you someday. Melbourne. Let me go back up to that. David, thank you for checking us out, mate. I'm not trying to be slick here. Liam Hendricks is my buddy. I call him mate. And I'm not playing that. I'm just trying to fit in, right? That's all. From the Bay 408. ESSJ, California. Gosh, from the Bay, I don't know what ESSJ means. Eastside San Jose. Of course I know what that means. I got you from the Bay. I appreciate you for being here, man. Kevin, 37, male, San Jose. Kevin, I didn't ask gender. Okay, I didn't go there. I didn't ask age. Was it age, sex, and location? Didn't ask that. Just age and location's fine. I don't need to know much more. Be Kind is 20 from the Bay and Dallas. Was that Dallas Fort Worth? Jack, watching from Chicago. You're 15 and watching from Chicago. It's late, buddy. I guess it's a Saturday, and I guess it's not that late. What time is it even? 10:30. It's 12:30 in Chi-Town. Jay Silva's 40. Appreciate you being here, man. It's getting late for us old timers. I'm ready to pass out. 27. It's Corona 29 in San Pablo. San Pablo, close to the, like, literally on the bay. Union City in the house. Oaktown Mojo. Now, how is your screen name going to be Oaktown Mojo and you're in Union City? You're not far away from Oaktown. And maybe you got that Oaktown Mojo. I will say this. Yeah, Union City's in the 510, right? So you're good. If you were in the 408, like if you're in Milpitas and you're Oaktown Mojo, how would we work that? You're just down 880 a little bit further. Funzy. 13. It's way past your bedtime, Funzy. Seriously. Like, go to bed. It's not a school night. But Vancouver, I appreciate you checking in from north of the border. I love Vancouver. Somebody asked earlier, what's the best road city? Van City is up there. Love going to Vancouver. Any time of year, honestly. Spring, I would say spring is the best. Parts of summer are the best. Not that winter's bad, but Death Grips is online? What is that comment? I don't know what that means. Man, what I wouldn't give to have a nice recording of the goal horn and the sting. Bum, bum. Oh, yeah. I think I might have that somewhere. I could probably dig that up for you. I have, I have the goal horn. I could obviously replicate with the get ready for this. The problem on all these YouTube videos, I play any popular music and I'll get the copyright sting. And then I'm getting in trouble. You guys want to go to the beach? Jeff watching from Colorado. Jeff, man, I appreciate you. I would have had no idea that San Jose, east side, by the way, San Jose, Chicago, Vancouver, Colorado, I would have had no clue that Australia. David, if you're still watching, tell me a little bit more about Australia. See, this is what I've really got to evolve into, is just bringing people on, like on a phone call or a live stream. Like talking to the chat box is... There it goes. It's all done. I was going to burp, but I realized it's going to cut out my music too. I won't do that.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
Hey-o! Those of us that are 35 know the ASL game. It appears that... Let me see here. How do I get it appears that maybe I have stopped the... Oh, yeah. I'm way behind on the chats here. I'm so sorry. We should do a drinking game. We should do a drinking and NHL online night. If only I don't even have an Xbox. I've got a... I've got an NES down here. I could fire that up. This beach is getting pretty loud here. Fade that out. Is it raining? You guys hear that? Your boys had a triple IPA. Yep. That has happened. Alaska Airlines going to the beach next weekend. Hey, you know what? I was thinking about taking... my wife and I were thinking about taking our son to the beach next week. Sharks have a couple off days. I like the sound of the rain, by the way. You guys like the rain? I just love the sound of the rain. And I don't really like driving in the rain if I don't have to. I don't like getting wet. Like, if I'm not wearing rain clothes, I don't like getting soaked in the rain if I don't have to. I don't like baseball games getting rained out. But I do like the plants in my yard getting free water. I do like that, and I do love the sound of the rain. Favorite European country to visit? Great question. Love that question. And I have been to enough of them, but I need to see more. I'd really like to visit the Czech Republic. I'd love to see Prague. I'm a big Switzerland fan. I loved Sweden when I went there with the Sharks. This London. London is like, I don't know. It's just something about it. It's foreign enough, yet it's homely enough to, America. The accents, the traditions, the pubs. Oh, the pubs, yeah. So I think I'm going to have to say those few. I like Italy. Germany is beautiful. Got to see some parts of Germany the most recent time I was there that were just amazing. Like more than where are the German cities I went to? Berlin? Did I go to Berlin? I don't remember. I know we went to Heidelberg. It's where we stayed when the Sharks played Mannheim. Let's see here. Brody. That's just Brody's drip with that patterned jacket. Now this is actually, honestly, when I came into the studio here, by the washer dryer, this was just cleaned because all I was wearing was this Oakland t-shirt, and I was like, I should probably put on something a little bit more than that. And it's also a little bit chilly tonight, so thought I'd put this on. I love rain when I'm not at work because I can drive when I work. Right. I'm just saying, rain is great from if you're not doing anything else and it's raining, you're like, great. But if you have something you need to do and it's being hindered because it's raining, rain sucks. Wind is the same way. Although I don't know, is there anybody who's like, I really want a windy day? Like if it's scorching hot, you like wind because it just cools you down. Other than that, does anybody actually like wind? Does anybody like a really windy day? No, I don't think so. Rain is relaxing. That's why Joseph lives in Oregon. That's so true. That is so true. Rain is it is soothing. It is relaxing. I believe the name is Celine. Do you like Taylor Swift? Yes, I do. But I have to say the last couple albums that she's been putting out here, while quarantining and isolating, and I understand like an artist wants to get to who they are versus, it's kind of like my YouTube channel. I know people love hockey videos. I know people love sports videos, but I also love aviation. I love content production. So those videos don't do as well when I make them, but I still make them because it's kind of like what the heart wants to do. So I understand an artist, wants to make the songs that they want to make versus what is going to blow up on the charts. But with that said, I just feel like Taylor Swift has not made a banger in a while. Like she hasn't dropped a her music will not sound like this at all. I want to see Taylor Swift drop a jazz song. Dun, dun, dun. Play's gonna play and the haters gonna hate. Oh, Jay Silva. Rest in peace, Dick Callahan. I don't have... Is there any left in this? Oof, rest in peace, Dick Callahan. I got one for you.
Leading off for the Athletics and playing second base, number 6, Brody, Brazil.
It's a good man right there. Dick Callahan will be missed. Shooting 2. Or how about spree for 3? See, this is where I should put the echo on. Wait. Ooh, can I do? Ooh. Oh. Forgot I had this here. Spree for no. You guys can hear it sounds funny, right? Spree for 3. How about that? No, this is actually only a small sample. I have a whole this unit right here, Universal Audio Apollo Twin X. This can do a ton of audio processing that I'm not even touching in terms of potential. But what I'm doing right now here is strictly on the audio board. Yes. Oops. How do I get back to that? There we go. Will Brody Beers become a regular segment on your channel? Michael asking that. Do you like it, Michael? Do you think it's good? You think it's decent enough? Because if it is, I'll do more of it. I just got to get a couple more beers. Right here. Rotary. Is this it? Oh, yeah. Hello, I am a robot. My name is Brody Brazil, the bro dog. Hello, YouTube. Hello, YouTube. Okay, that's enough of that. Ducky, pour one out for the homie. Yeah, Dick Callahan, man. Oh, what a loss. I told this story I did an interview on A's Cast the other day, and we texted back and forth in July after I heard he wasn't going to be announcing this year, and I heard he was not doing so well. But then I heard he was out of the hospital, or he said, he got some things taken care of, and I thought everything was going to be okay, and I regret not checking back in with him. And I'm sorry to hear that it sounded like he might have been struggling for a while with health issues, and just the nicest guy. Just the nicest guy. So, honestly, I have that clip of him announcing my name. I feel so lucky to have that. Really do. Miss the guy. Jay Silva. Too many. Too many steps. So it would be like if I don't like this one. Plate and chorus. Let's see if that one works. Yep. This is like if I'm in an really big empty building right now. Hall? No, try that one. There we go. There we go. Hello? Hello? That's so weird. This is like a creepy dream voice. It's like a voice you hear in your dreams. Hey, Brody, wake up. Hello? 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 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoa!
Wow.
Wolf Gabe, see you, man. Have a good night. Yeah, I know none of you are really sticking around for this joint. Ooh, Vibrapan. What is that one? 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello. 1, 2.
Oh, yes. Oh, here is my robot voice. This is much better. This is pretty crazy.
All right, Ethan, you're going to bed too. Man, everybody's got to check out pretty soon, and that's fine. Hey, how about this for the comment section, for the live chat? Valentine's Day. How do you do this right now? So I'm married. My wife and I have been together. We've been together for a long time, more than 10 years. But I'm curious, like if you're dating somebody right now and it's Valentine's Day and you can't do stuff, and I don't know. I mean, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to. I'm curious, what are you guys doing for Valentine's Day? Plus, also we have a son who keeps us more than occupied. So Be kind. It's like being in a really big empty building. The guy speaking to no one inside his home. Yep, that's me. That is definitely me. Hello, hello? Oh, yeah, there we go. What if I did the whole chat like this? Would this be annoying to you? It should be. It should be really annoying. Pizza, chocolate, movies. That's the move. Oh, Nicholas, that's how you do Valentine's Day? Pizza, chocolate, movie. That's... You think that's a good... You are so sold on that trio right there. I'm not going to lie, actually. My wife, she, in fact, one of the last times I went out and picked up, takeout food, she like, I'll get a pizza. Great. I know she loves chocolate. And I'm not saying she always likes my choice of movies, but she does like movies, especially viewed from our couch. You're not wrong. Zach is saying, if I wasn't single in Idaho, we have almost no restrictions. Ooh. So you could go around Moscow and eat inside a restaurant. Zach, since you're still watching, you've been here a bit. Can you tell me a little bit more about Moscow, Idaho? What's the population? What's going on there right now? What's the temperature like? How many people live within a mile radius of you? I'm very curious. Cooking chili, chili Colorado all day for the fam. Candy and presents too. All right, the dust ball. I like that. Good for you. Make it. Oh, look at Michael making some pizza, wine, and maybe a movie. Ooh, maybe a movie. What makes you think you're not going to get to that movie? You could start the movie. Making pizza though, I'm impressed. We do that here sometimes. In fact, tomorrow, I will be flipping some Beyond Burgers on the barbecue. There you go. Alex, I find the lack of physicality, especially in front of the net, and sticking up for one another an ongoing issue. Do I see the same? Absolutely. And you know what, Alex, you may have missed a couple minutes ago because my goodness, have I been streaming for almost 90 minutes now? Yes, I have. I got to cut it off at 90. This is going on too long. Yes, I do see that as an issue. Net front chances for opponents, not just this year, but the last couple years, especially this year, though. They've cut down on the odd man chances against. Really feel like that's going to help them out. It's going to make their goalies look better in the process. Just clear them out. Clear those players out of the way. Start there, and I think that alone, that one thing, if you could focus on that, would make a tangible difference. Oh, here we go. So, Zach, with college, it's 30,000 people in Moscow, Idaho, and we have like 5 new cases in the last few weeks. Oh, that's great. I mean, that's not great. Like 0 is better than 5, don't get me wrong. But I'm saying, considering the college atmosphere and considering that, that little of a transmission, that's great. And I look, as we go along here in the next couple weeks and months, I hope we cut down on everything. 11 degrees outside right now. It's been snowing for a week straight. Oh. I was in the backyard playing with my son today. It's almost tropical. Oh, the dust ball. That was your kid on pregame live the other night that we showed. Was it in the backyard? Shooting those laser beams into the goal? That's awesome. He was on cloud 9. It has gone to his head though. Sorry, dust ball. I don't know how to do. I don't have any advice for you on that one. Our son's only 3.5, so I don't know. I don't know how to deal with your child now. Now that your child is a multimedia star, social and television. But yeah, when our producer saw that, he was like, "We got to put that on." So appreciate that. That is awesome. There isn't much to do in Moscow, Idaho, even with some closures for COVID. I imagine, yeah, it's. And I'll be honest, I feel bad. I don't know what college town you're even talking about. I don't know what college is in that town. Nicholas, now you prefer the Impossible Burger over the Beyond Burger? I'm the opposite. The Beyond Burger, to me, texture, taste. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I just hope. I think we might have some French fries in the freezer. We better, because eating a burger by itself is just not. And I honestly think, sadly enough, this right here, this might be the last beer that was in our refrigerator. Which means old Brazil's got to get out tomorrow and pick up some beers. Yeah. I might make an order at Fieldwork and go pick them up. Okay. I think... Oh, Mark is grabbing a beer real quick. Good for you, Mark. Appreciate you. Look at this. We barely even talked about today's game. My game log. Oh, it's so out of focus. Yeah, I can't have the autofocus on this camera, unfortunately, because this particular camera in the studio doesn't... My other one works in here fine, but this one does not. Anyway. Better athlete from Castro Valley High School, Juan Toscano Anderson, Jason Castro, or Brody Brazil. Oh man, where's the laughing one? Okay, I need to get a laughing sound effect. What other sound effect would be applicable here? Really none. Yeah, no, there's not a good one for this. Okay, let's go over this. I didn't even say anything yet. I better athlete, certainly not me, so I'll cross myself off that list. Juan is just kind of still entering into the NBA, and Jason Castro has been a big league all-star. He's an established big league veteran. So Jason Castro, by the way, friend of the family. So there you go. Probably Jason's probably the top athlete at this point. Now, most likely to get recognized walking down the street. Oh, that's not clearly. You guys know I'm messing around. But it's true, but it's not. But that's not how I operate. It's not how I operate. Oh, favorite food item at the Coliseum. So, Dominic, I appreciate that question. It has changed with the addition of the food trucks. There's a couple, and I just love the Mexican food. Oh my goodness. I mean, there's so many great, and I'm also a rather selective eater. So I tend to go to the Mexican restaurant food trucks. So that's my go-to, quite honestly. If you would ask me a couple years ago before they did that whole Champions Plaza area, I really wouldn't know what to say. I would try something new every time, and I was eating differently back then. So, but right now, there's always a good food truck with burritos or just, and they're like the burritos that like you need two hands to hold. So yeah, there you go. Ooh, Alden just got a case from Russian River Brewing. Ooh, you got some Pliny? That is just, you know what? I got to head over there. Am I peeling out to go over there? Actually, I should give him a call. Okay, I'm just playing sound effects. Congrats to you, Alden. You deserve that, man. You should a case. How many are in a case? Probably a lot. So you should enjoy one nightly or every other night for like the next month. Oh, Sonny. I feel like you've been asked this many a time, but how do I get my voice to sound as colorful as yours? You mean like saying stupid stuff on a live stream? Can I curse on here? I haven't yet. Look at that. I haven't been on here for 90 minutes and I haven't even said a bad word. I almost said saying stupid. By the way, I do curse like a sailor in real life. I just prefer when I'm broadcasting, putting stuff out there. If there's no reason, why should I? It's just, I'm not like hot, like not greater than anybody else because I typically don't just, curse a bunch, curse up a storm. But I just, I put the stuff out there so that when my son sees it in 10 years, that he's not like, my dad has got an issue, So, Sorry, what was the I don't even forget what the question was here. Oh, how do I get the voice? So, Sonny, let me just show you here real quick what's going on. Oh, see, knocked over the beer can, but good thing it's completely empty. There's a couple things you should know, Sonny. First off, this microphone itself, Neumann U87 AI, is like gold standard of microphones. So it inherently itself is going to sound really good, even before you process it, whatever. But I got a couple things going on here. The Apollo Twin X does processing and equalization and does just a hint of gating. It's also the preamp. So in this device, this is not the computer. My Mac is actually under the desk down here, but this is kind of a hardware device for the Mac computer that this does all the microphone processing and stuff in real time. And this has software emulation. So it's hard for me to say this. Long story short, there's a lot of processing done via the Apollo that feeds it into the computer. And then it goes into this soundboard, this is not really altering it except for when I do the effects like this. But this is not to change the voice a whole bunch, really. And then it just goes into my ATEM here, which streams it out. But this Apollo Twin X, it's all processing. The equalization to kind of fill out the low end and kind of reduce the high end, reduce a little bit of the sibilance in my voice. Good microphone technique is part of it. But compression and equalization as part of the processing, and look, I couldn't lie to you. There's like a couple $1,000s worth of audio equipment just going on right here. So part of it is you get what you put into it. You get out of it what you put into it. So, now, and audio is huge for me. I think I record a lot of podcasts, and how it sounds. I wanted this home studio to sound as good as anything else, if not maybe better. I need to sign up for Beer League at Sharks Ice. No team wants a bender. Today's game is best left undiscussed. See, and I would say this, David, like it was one of the Sharks' better showings. If the Sharks played like that against Anaheim, who they're about to see on Monday, they'll win. They'll win in regulation. Problem is, they played well and don't win because it's Las Vegas. You got to be perfect against Las Vegas. O-Town Mojo, you second Total Wine. I might stop there tomorrow. I just might. Oh, the case had 4 Pliny the Younger bottles? That's it? Well, sip them slow. One a weekend. How about that? One a weekend for the next month, Alden. All right. A lot of comments about Vegas. Oh, Jay Silva, man. You gotta be an OG. You're asking some OG questions here. Best high school sports focus memory or experience. That was a show that, for those of you who don't know, I started working at, what was Comcast, Sportsnet, CSN back in 2009, which is crazy, by the way, because when I turn 40 in early April, that means I will have worked at this current network in my 20s, in my 30s, and in my 40s. Yeah. But my job prior to that was covering high school sports and doing a little stuff for the Oakland A's at Channel 36 in San Jose. I love the fact that kids were so excited to put them on television, highlight their accomplishments, show their best, athletic performances. The kids and their families were so appreciative of that. And our show wasn't perfect. I was terrible back then. I still am. I was even worse back then. And so it was a great stepping stone. Like you could make some mistakes. You could really, really loosen up and play around with it. But the fact that we took it rather serious, I think went over quite well. And I'll end it with this. I know a lot of people say, well, why wouldn't like a high school sports show, like a live one like that, like on Friday nights after a football game or after big basketball games, why wouldn't that ever do well anymore? And the answer is because of things like this, YouTube. It's not gonna, not as many. Back then in the 90s and the early 2000s when I was doing that show, like people didn't, like you guys, you're here watching YouTube on a Saturday night. They would be at home watching TV and they're like, being on TV was the cool factor. I don't know if being on TV is the cool factor anymore. You can't like share that clip then with your friends. I mean, if we put it on YouTube later, you could check that out, but it doesn't instantly go there. So, I don't think it'll ever be the same again. It was the time and the culture were perfect for a show like that. If it ever happened again, it would have to be different. But favorite memory was, just seeing the reaction of other people. I mean, by that point, I was doing TV stuff. I loved it. And I love putting our product out there, but I love seeing the reaction of highlighting others. Anything else? Blow up the Sharks. I know we talked about that earlier. Oh, Sonny. Yeah, man. Anytime. Hey, and by the way, Sonny, about this voice setup, there's a bunch of videos here on my channel about audio production and processing and just tips and tricks that I've learned that I wanted to share. So I hope you check those out. All right. I think that is going to be it here for the old YouTube. Pretty soon it's going to be baseball season. But until then, it's hockey season. Yep. You know this theme. Is this still the theme? Dun, 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 dun. Is that still the theme? I know this one is. What kind of internships did I do when I was getting out of school? I did an internship my last half year of high school. Companies aren't even allowed to do high school internships anymore. Fortunately, back in the 90s, they were, and I took advantage of that. That's what I highly recommend for people. Do a good internship. All right, Kevin, I'll see you, man. I'm signing off here, too, at the end of this, as soon as this music wraps up. But Sonny, I appreciate that. Thank you for checking out the channel. Make sure you hit up the subscription. When I get to 6,000 subscribers, wait a second. No, I cannot end it like this. Wait. When I get to 6,000 subscribers on this channel, I'll be releasing a little bit of Sharks Late Night Confidential. I've got it ready. I just need 6K. That's all I need. So think about that for a second. Okay. Why not? I'll play it one more time. So, yeah. You want to see Randy Hahn and Drew Remenda in a hotel room in Denver from 11 years ago, and me filming it on a flip cam? If that's what you want to see, help my channel get to 6K. That's how we'll do it. Mark Failer, Brody Brazil, pimpin' since pimpin' been pimpin'. The Confidential. All right. The themes get you hyped up. Yeah, I don't have the pre and post game live song on here. You love this theme, huh? It gets you hyped? All right. Sharks lose today, but you all won for hanging out tonight. I appreciate all of you. Happy Valentine's Day tomorrow. Let's talk soon. Bye.